Hello, everyone. Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah. Um, so I think even we didn't have a class on Monday. I sent several emails regarding the midterm. I want to clarify here again. So I have already uploaded the midterm exam to the Blackboard. You can take it as another assignment, whatever. But I set the deadline to be next Monday. Okay, because of the short notice. I think you don't need have such an amount of time to finish that. Maybe just several hours should be fine. It's very um, basic and just about the chapter 1 and 2 and slightly contents in chapter 3. Okay, so I think the 4 questions, but as I mentioned, next Monday is a firm deadline because we have to upload the score to the universe system by Wednesday. So the TA only have 1 day. Um, I'm not quite sure why universe says this deadline, but it's based on the policy. We have to do that before next Wednesday. So sorry for the short notice, but I think the time should be quite enough. The question is not difficult. There is no programming. It's just a calculation and question and answer. Okay. So any question? You can just take it as another assignment because as we discussed, it's not easy to do that online. And some students saying that the short notice, so they think Friday is not very good. And I guess maybe some other professor also think about the same way, right? Set up the deadline for this week. So let's finish that by next Monday. Okay. After that is assignment 3. So if you think assignment 3 you need more time, just let me know. But I think you should be fine because we have already demonstrated how to program socket, right? In the class. So um, I think that shouldn't be a problem to you. Um, unless you don't very, you are not very familiar with um, the Python programming. Okay, Joseph, you have questions. There are multiple midterms I have to do in the period time. Oh, assignment 3 needs more time. Okay, so let's discuss about the assignment 3 deadline. After that, I think it's not this week, right? The week after next week. I remember I give 2 or 3 weeks. But if it's due this week, I will definitely extend that. I will check that. Okay, but I think if I set to yes, next Friday. Yes. If next Friday, I think this should be fine. But if you need 1 or more 2 days, I can set to next Monday. Okay. Okay. So yes, think we have no question about the assignment and midterm, right? For the final exam, I will post the time as soon as possible to avoid the same situation. Okay, so short notice. But so far, I don't know if the university set any, earlier deadline because usually for the final grade, right? So for December or December 10th or something, we have the deadline to upload all the grades. But I don't know if there is any policy to upload the final, for example, exam score, right? So this deadline is just for midterm score, is specifically, I think. Okay, anyway, let's continue our lecture. Um, give me 1 second, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. So still remember last week, Friday, we discussed about the reliable data transfer protocol, right? So we use a finished data machine specification to denote that, right? So this is some figure you need to remember. Not all the lines, but general in high level, right? How the state will change to each other, which condition triggers that, and what is about the sender side, what is about receiver side, right? And in the end, we show animation, right? For different situation, if there is some packet loss, timeout, and how to retransmit, and if there is some redundant acknowledgement or packet, how you deal with that, right? And this is some delay, right, about the acknowledgement. So as I mentioned, animation may help you to understand this protocol between sender and the receiver. But in the concept for the FSM specification, you also need to know how to plot that, because in the question and answer in the exam, we cannot just use the animation to do that, right? So you need to plot to let people know how you design protocol. So yeah, so that's idea about the different reliable data transfer protocol from 1.0 to 3.0, right? We have the um, different versions, and each version beyond previous version just want to solve a new situation, or some cases the previous version doesn't take care of. Okay, so let's see some performance uh, questions about the RDT 3.0. So we have some similarly previously we introduced the throughput, latency, delay, something there, right? So similarly, we also need to have a performance measurement of the different protocols. So for the sender side, the utilization is a fraction of time sender busy sending, right? It's easy to understand how much time you spend in sending the packet, right? The fraction, the utilization. So for example, we have 1 gigabit per second link, 15 microsecond propagation delay, 8,000 bit packet, and the time to transmit packet into the channel, right? We can calculate the data for transmission using the 8,000 bit divided by the transmission speed, right? It's 1 gigabits per second, right, for this link, and it's 8 microsecond, okay? And how we can demonstrate that time. So with this figure, so you just in the blue this is a band, right? This is a blue band. It's a time you send the first bit of the packet, right? Transmitted starting time. And for the, I should change to laser pointer. So this is for the sender side, this is the first bit you send. This is the last bit you send within this packet, right? And for receiver side, this is the first packet bit arrives and last packet bit arrives, and then send the acknowledgement, and the acknowledgement arrives, send the next packet, so on and so forth. And you know the RTT time, right? So we introduced that before. And how we can calculate the from sender side, the time is total time is RTT, right? And plus the R divided by R is a length of the bit, right? The length of packet divided by the I think R is a transmission time, a transmission rate, right? Divided by transmission rate, and this is time for sending the packet, and this is a fraction, right? L divided by R divided by RTT plus L divided by R, right? So this is how much time you use for the packet transmission in the overall time here, right, between the two packets sent and received, right? So this is, we define this as a utilization. Okay, so for the previous example, we have the 8 microsecond, right, for the transmission for, let's say the formal definition, the fraction of time sender busy sending, right? This is time we define as a busy sending. You spend the time keep sending, right? So this time is a busy sending time, and this is total time, right? So you use 8 microsecond divided by the total time, and you calculate the utilization. So the protocol 3.0, RDT 3.0 protocol performance stinks, right? Because you are not so busy, right? You spend most of the time waiting, right? Not busy sending. So protocol limits the performance of underlying infrastructure. So this is easy to understand. You want to keep your device as busy as possible, but you also don't want that busy to delay something, right? For example, if I can make all the make the utilization higher than 50 percentage, or maybe as high as 80 percentage, that means my device is utilized very effectively, right? I spend a lot of time sending and receiving the packet, right? I'm not let something just running there with nothing to do, right? So this is some basic definition of the utilization from center side. Okay, so some of you may know that concept of pipeline, right? So in computer system and networking, a lot of areas you can see you send the packet in pipeline. Pipeline means that you're not only send one packet and receive a one packet and then send another one, right? You just send them in a line, in a pipeline, right? Just like previously we use a caravan as a example, right? So you have a line of cars just cross the station, right? So similar idea. Pipelining senders allows multiple in-flight yet to be acknowledged packets. So the range of sequence numbers must be increased, right? So they should be have the sequence number and in the or in increased order, and the buffering at the sender and or receiver side, right? So this is some thing based on the description. You from sender side, you send a packet, and this packet are all in the flight, right? And yet to be acknowledged, right? From the receiver side, you can send the acknowledgement packets, and all of them could be in flight, right? So this could significantly increase the utilization of the sender and the receiver side, okay? So for example, so how we can increase the utilization? This is a similar diagram, right? Or figure to demonstrate that if we have the three packets in the flight, right? And first packet starting here, and after transferring or sending the first packet, the second one, third one, right? And the first packet bits arrive, last packet of the first, last bit of the first packet arrives, and second and third, right? And so on and so forth. You can see here, we are not significantly increase the total time, right? So total time, you just, because they are in pipelining, right? They close to each other. You just increase RTT. Originally RTT plus L divided by R here, right? So if we only send the one packet, but now if we send the three packet, what will change, right? So we just add the another two transmission sending time here, right? So the formula will change the to 3R divided by R here, right? And okay, so here is not 3. Here is just a plus L divided by R. So we should go back to see the definition, because I thought it's a RTT plus 3 times L divided by R. Okay, this may be the RTT. Oh, okay. So RTT time is okay, sorry. So here is the RTT time, right? RTT time is not from here to here. So this is the RTT time, and you only need to plus 1 L divided by R, right? Because this is based on the RTT time. So RTT time is from the when you send after you sending the packet until you receive the packet. So here RTT time is the same. right? But you just add another L divided by R here. Okay. So we should understand the RTT time. So RTT time is after you sending the packet until you receive the acknowledgement, right? So this time is RTT time. So you still plus only one L divided by R here. And for the this part, you have the 3L divided by R. So it's a 24 microsecond here. So you increase the utilization here. Okay, so pay attention to here. I made a mistake. I thought it's RTT plus 3 times L divided by R, but the RTT is from this point to this point. Okay, so yeah, so the figure can help you to understand the procedure. Um, okay, so let's see how we increase, how much we increase utilization. Let's see, this is a point 0.81 percentage. What's the previous one? It's increased about 3 times, right? Because you don't just you just change the um this by 3, right? So it's just 3 times. So you increase the utilization, but in reality or in practice, we can make hundreds or thousands, could be package sending and receiving for one application or for one link, right? Or even more, right? So you can significantly increase the utilization here, okay? So the 3 packet pipelining increase the utilization by a factor of 3, okay? So this is a general idea how you use the pipelining to increase the utilization. Some idea also we in my research, or some of my students also faced on some research problem that can use pipelining to solve this problem. So think about that. You have a very, you know, so how should I describe this problem? So for example, we transfer the data from the computer to, let's say, external storage, right? Every time if we only send the one file, after that end receive the file and we send another one. If we use this style, the throughput could be not changed, but I mean, if we okay, so if we only send one packet at one time, right? Similarly here, and our utilization of the I/O transfer is not very high, but if we can pipeline the file or the data and make them sending in a pipelining, even we increase some latency, because here I think the latency will be increased, right? Because you sending 3 packets and add within some same delay time here, right? So the latency could be increased, but you can slightly increase, but you can significantly increase the throughput here, right? Because you ask 3 packages send at the same time. If you think about this like a pipe, right? You just make the pipe 3 wider as before, right? So you just make pipelining here. So in many areas, pipelining can increase the throughput, increase the utilization, but only slightly increase the latency, right? Because here you just make you know, slightly more latency with a 2 packet sending time here. Okay. Anyway, so this is some extra topics, but let's go back to see some very important idea for this pipelining the pipelining in these protocols. We have the 2 schemes to make several packets to send at the same time or in flight. In flight. Okay, so first scheme is a go back end sender. So this is some idea I think is very interesting because we have the different scheme to acknowledge which packet you have been received and which packet you need to resend. Let's see, this is how we make use of a window to send consecutive packet, okay, transmitted but unacknowledged packet. So here we have a window size of n, okay, so the green packet is something we have already acknowledged. We have received and acknowledged. And this window is the packet we want to send. Okay, we are going to send, and we have already sent something. Something has not been sent, right? There is some here, and for this part is the window hasn't covered, right? The window hasn't covered. So you can think about this is the packet we want to send in the pipeline. Okay, so every time you send not only one packet, right? You want to send n packets, and here n is our predefined parameter, right? So we want to send n packet at the same time, okay? Not at the same time, but at least within this window one by one, and the window move to another window, right? So here, you remember, so green is just acknowledge, already acknowledged. Yellow part is the sent, but has not been acknowledged, okay? And blue is usable, not yet sent. And white is or just this empty, right? It's not usable, right? You haven't touched this part. Okay, so we can see that the cumulative acknowledgement is that you acknowledge all the packet up to and including the sequence number n. So we will give an animation a figure to demonstrate how this scheme works. Okay, but before that, let's just quickly go through the concept here, and we can go back to map the concept again. So here is how you acknowledge, is acknowledge all the packets up to. Okay, so what does this mean? So you acknowledge how many packets you have been received, but you only acknowledge the highest sequence number, okay, include the sequence number n. And on receiving acknowledge is a move window forward to begin at n+1. That means you have already received all the packets in this window, and you just move to the next window, right? Starting at n+1. So this is easy to understand. And you also have a timer. You have the timer for the oldest in-flight packet. You just need to check if all the packet in this window has been received or not, right? But the timer only be set for the oldest in-flight packet. And the timeout n is that you just measure that the oldest, you have some packet that has not been received, right? You need to retransmit the packet and all the higher sequence number in this window. Okay, so we will show that what does this mean, but generally speaking, if you have something, you even it's not the last packet, you not receive that, you just retransmit the previously or the whole window. Okay. So from the receiver side, the acknowledge only is always send acknowledge for correctly received packet so far with the highest in order sequence number. And it may generate duplicate acknowledgement and need only remember the RCV base, okay? And on receipt of all the packet. Anyway, let's first see the animation. Otherwise, maybe you will be confused here, and then we go back to see what does this mean one by one. Okay, so let's see this animation. I believe this will help you to understand that. So let's see from the center side, we want to send the 4 packets. Okay, we want to send the 4 packets 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the window size. Okay, so what does window size mean here? You can clearly see that we want to send the 0, 1, 2, 3, the 4 packets here. Okay, just from the sender to receive, sender receive, and after the receiver receives the packet, right? So it send the acknowledge back, right? But the problem here, we assume that there is a one packet in the window is lost. Okay, there is some loss happening here. That means the receiver part cannot receive the packet 2. So for this part, because they are in the order, right? The first one send, receive, and send the acknowledge 0. The second one send the packet 1 and send the acknowledgement 1. And for the third one, right, it's lost. So there is nothing received here. And for the packet, the last one in the window, right? The packet 3 is receive the packet 3. But because you haven't received packet 2, And this packet cannot be received by the receiver because they need to make sure in the order, right? You haven't received the packet 2, right? And there is no buffering design here. We will talk about the next scheme, but this scheme is there is no buffer here. You don't need to design a buffer. You don't need to temporarily hold the packet 3. You just directly discard the packet 3 and resend the acknowledge 1. Because as we I quickly show that it sends the acknowledgement up to, right? Means that so far you discard packet 3 and the up to date the packet you receive is the packet 1. So you send the acknowledgement 1, and this is kind of like a resend the acknowledgement, right? So let's go back to see the definition here, right? Then you may understand that better. So you acknowledge all packets up to, right? Means that even a packet 2 is lost, packet 3 has been received, the packet 3 will be discarded, right? And the up to packet you have been received is the packet 1. Okay, right? So there is no confusion here, right? For that sentence, right? You acknowledge the up to packet you have been received, right? So here, because you haven't received the packet 2, so for packet 3, you just discard it and you resend the acknowledgement 1. That means you only receive the packet 0 and packet 1. From packet 2, you have to send another, you have to retransmit. Okay, that's the point here. So let's continue. Okay, you receive the acknowledge 0 from the sender side. You receive the acknowledgement 1 from the sender side, and you continue to send the packet 4, packet 5, right? And because similarly, you haven't received packet 2, right? Anything after that, any packet after that would be discarded, right? And you resend acknowledge 1, acknowledge 1. Like you haven't received something, you're always expecting to receive packet 2. Any packet after that, you just discard and you send the acknowledgement 1 because this is up to date acknowledgement or packet you have been received, right? From the sense receiver side, okay? And you resend the acknowledgement 1. This is a duplicate acknowledgement. And this is also some duplicate acknowledgement, right? And until here, the timer, right? This timer is just a time for the oldest in-flight packet, right? So this, anything else has been received. This has not been received, though it's still in timer, okay? It's timeout. How should I do, right? Because I discarded 3, 4, 5. What should I do? Just a quick guess. So if you are protocol designer, right? So I discard 3, 4, 5, and here packet 2 timeout. What is the next? Any idea? Yes, just resend the 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because this is another window. Your window just move and you just resend all the 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So is that clear? So that's why I mentioned I don't want to just give you a lot of contents and then see the animation. Maybe you will be confused. Let's just first see the animation here, and then let's go back to see the description, right? Or definition. You may understand that better. Okay, so this scheme is clear. You just send the a packet 0, 1, and 2 lost. And after that, anything you receive, you just discard. And then you resend acknowledge 1, 1, 1 because the most up-to-date packet you receive is packet 1. Okay, and after that, packet 2's timer is out, and you just resend the 2, 3, 4, 5. The good thing, a benefit here is that you don't need to have a buffer, right? you are guessing that the loss case would be very minimum, right? And you can save a buffer here. You don't need to design a buffer. You just discard anything you don't expect to receive, right? So here I don't need to have a buffer. I can every time every time there is a some loss happen, I can make sure the receiver still receive the packet in order, right? 0, 1, 3 is discard, 4 discard, 5 discard, and okay, let's go 2, 3, 4, 5. If this time nothing lost happen, right? I just receive a 2, 3, 4, 5, and then totally I receive a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything in order, no buffer design, right? So let's go back to see the text here. Maybe it's you should be easy to understand here. So always send acknowledgement for correctly received package so far with highest in order sequence. Now you can understand, right? So you only acknowledge correctly received the packet so far. If there is some bad thing happen, you discard that, you just send the packet as we see that we just send the acknowledgement 1, right? We don't care about the later packet. So it may generate duplicate acknowledgements, right? You see that, right? So from the sender side, you can receive multiple acknowledgement 1, okay? You only need to remember RCV base from which part you're starting, right? And on receipt of out of order packet, you just discard it, right? You don't need to buffer, right? You don't need to design buffer. You don't need to have extra space to put the packet there and waiting, right? You just discard that. And the re-acknowledgement packet with the highest in order sequence. Now you can understand I guess you can understand smoothly about this content, right? After you watch the animation there. So any question about the go backend, this scheme? So we will change it totally to another scheme that you may guess that I repeatedly saying that we don't need a buffer. So next design is based on buffer, right? But for this case, we don't need a buffer. Any question before I go to next? If request from receive lost, if request from receiver lost, request from receiver lost. What do you mean by request from receiver lost? Which request? So I want to make sure I understand this maybe acknowledgement sent. You mean the acknowledgement is lost? I think we mentioned that before, right? In the last lecture, is acknowledgement loss is similar to this packet loss, right? They are the same timer. So if the acknowledgement loss is similar to the packet loss, right? It's exactly the same, right? Because the sender side, I don't know if you receive that or not. The packet could be lost, the acknowledgement could be lost, but either lost, I assume lost. I assume I need to retransmit that, right? So I think this is the same case, right? I don't care receiver side receive or not. If I haven't received the acknowledgement, I assume bad thing happened. I need to retransmit, right? So this is something not related to this part. Is related to this animation. I believe you are looking for this one, right? So you can see in this one, right? The acknowledgement is lost, right? Similarly, it's timeout, okay? And it just retransmit. If we lose acknowledgement proof, but then later send acknowledgement with the window move and send for. Let me go back to the okay, let me check your question. So you are saying that if we lose acknowledgement two, okay, but then later send acknowledgement 3. You mean, okay, I received the packet 2 and I send the acknowledgement 2, okay? And receive the package 3. I send the acknowledgement 3. Will the window move and send the packet 4?
Just kind of my thoughts are that like if the sender gets acknowledgement 3, we know the receiver is only going to send acknowledgement 3 if it also sent acknowledgement 2. So if we get acknowledgement 3, can we then assume that acknowledgement 2 was also sent and it just might have got lost along the way?
Yes, I think so. Yes, it should be in order, right? So you send the acknowledgement 3 unless you have already sent the acknowledgement 2, right?
Yeah.
And after the acknowledgement 2 and 3 have been received, then you can move to next window. Otherwise, you cannot, right?
But if sender never receives acknowledgement 2, but they do get acknowledgement 3, can we assume that acknowledgement 2 was acknowledged?
Oh, this is a good question. I got a point. No, I don't think so. If you haven't, if the sender side haven't received the acknowledgement 2, how they know that the packet 2 has been received, right? Oh, your point is that acknowledgement 3 has been sent, right?
Yeah. And we wouldn't send acknowledgement 3 unless we also sent acknowledgement 2.
This is a good question. So far, I think it's possible, right? Because if you send the acknowledgement 3 means that acknowledgement packet 2 has been well received, but the acknowledgement 2 has been lost, but acknowledgement 3 has been received, right? So then we should be able to move to the next window.
Okay.
I think so, yes. Good point, good catch, yes.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, this is a good point. Yes, and I think this is something interesting, right? So, acknowledgement 2 has been sent, and acknowledgement 3 has been sent. Means that packet 2 has been received, and if you can receive the acknowledgement 3, then we can move on. Yes, a good point. Yes, I think so. Yeah. Okay, and let's continue. So this is the first design, first protocol, right, scheme. And what about something I mentioned that was the next, right? This is a selective repeat. So different from go back in, right? So this is something we need to not we as receiver need to individually acknowledge all correctly received packet. We have to buffer the packet as needed for eventual in-order delivery to upper layer. In-order is a very important thing, right? Because otherwise you just receive all the packets. And remember that the sequence number is not always from 0 to 100, 1000, right? It has to be repeated from 0 to 4 and then 0 to 4, 0 to 4, right? So sometimes you have to guarantee the order of the sequence number, right? So if I have infinite sequence number, definitely I don't care when I receive what, right? So I just get everything and I just do a sorting, right? But sorting is not a very efficient way. So anyways, for this selective repeat scheme, we have to individually acknowledge all the correctly received packet and send a time sort or retransmit individually for unacknowledged packet. Right, sender maintains a timer for each unacknowledged packet. So you can see here, if you want to acknowledge every packet individually, if you want to if you want to do that, you need to time every packet that has not been acknowledged. So that means you have to put some extra storage or space, memory space or timer or something here, right? But it can help you to manage each packet individually. So what about, let's first also look at, let's see if we need to first go this slides. So what about, let's first look at the animation as well, and we can go back to see this context, right? So this strategy may be smarter. So what is a selective repeat in action, right? So let's see something similarly, right? You send the 4 packet here, okay? Packet 2 is lost, but differently, packet 3 has been received. We buffer that, right? Unlike the previously approach, just directly discuss that. So here we just buffer that, and we send acknowledgement 3. Okay, as we slightly mentioned in the previous slide, right? So we have an individual acknowledgement, and we have a buffer here. Okay, then because you receive the packet 0, you receive the packet 1, you receive the packet 3. You just send the acknowledgement 0, 1, 3, right? And after you receive the acknowledgement 0, send packet 4, send packet 5, right? And record packet 3 arrived. Okay, so this is something just similarly, right? So receive packet 4, buffer 4, 5. The first 2 has been already moved very fast, right? And until here, packet 2 timeout. Similarly, right? Packet 2 timeout. You just send the packet 2, but not 3, 4, 5. Okay, and you receive packet 2, you deliver packet 2, because you have been already put packet 3, 4, 5 in the buffer. Now you just get the packet 2. You put the packet 2 before the, or in the beginning of the buffer, right? And then you just give packet 2, 3, 4, 5 to the application, right? So this gives, to me, I think it's easier to understand than the previous one. This is just an individual acknowledgement, send and receive, right? Only thing you need to think about, or more complicated thing here is just the buffer, right? But buffer is something, very classic, right? You just put a lot of things in the buffer, and in the buffer, besides 2, 3, 4, 5 is almost in order. When you get the packet 2, you just insert the packet in the correct place in the buffer, right? And then you deliver the whole packet in the buffer to the application level, right? Actually, I think this is easier to understand, but maybe you need to put more effort when you implement that, right? It's not like you just discard everything and retransmit a whole window. Here is the you need to have some extra implementation. First, you need to how to make a buffer, right? How to put the packet into the buffer, and you need to have an individual timer, right? And the acknowledgement sent from the receiver to sender, right? And after you get all the packet, how you organize the buffer and transfer the whole buffer packet to the application level. It's kind of, the workload would be in the implementation side, but the idea concept here is not quite difficult to understand, right? So let's just finish the previously contents, right? So I think this size is good. And yeah, this is, we don't need to care about this slide. And just quickly go through this slide. So for sender part, the data from above, if next available sequence in the window is send packet, a timeout is a resend the packet and restart the timer, right? The acknowledge n in the sender base and sender base plus n, the marked packet as n as received. If n smallest n acknowledged packet, advance window base to the next n acknowledged sequence, right? So after you have received the 2, 3, 4, 5, right, you just advance to next window. So for the receiver part, the packet n in the receiver base, you send the acknowledge n out of order. It's okay because you have a buffer, right? In order and deliver advanced window to next not yet received packet, right? So this is something just about the description. But as I mentioned, the animation will help you to understand it better. Okay, it's just the individual acknowledgement, maintain a buffer. After you receive the lost transmitted packet, you just organize the buffer and send the whole packet um, to the beyond level. Okay, above level. Okay. So here is one quick thing before we end today's class. So if there is some bad thing happen, but you don't design the sequence number base and the window size base correctly. So for example, in this case, the sequence number is 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. As I mentioned, it could not be from 0 to infinite, right? So it should be some base counting there, right? From 1, 0, 2, 3, 1, 0, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, right? But the window size is 3. So there is some thing, it's an, may trigger some bad situation here. For example, in this case, you send the packet 0, packet 1, packet 2, okay? And after that, you acknowledge packet 0 and send the packet 3, okay? And if the packet 3 is lost, in this case, you should be fine, okay? And resend the packet 3. And because the packet 0, you have been acknowledged, right? And you receive the acknowledgement. So this packet you receive, you definitely know that this is the next packet 0. There is no problem in this figure, okay? So this some situation, there is no problem, but I just saying that packet 3 lost because you have already acknowledged the packet 0 has been received. This packet 0 you received must be the next packet 0, okay? But this is not always true. For example, if a packet 0, packet 1, packet 2, all of the packet has been, the acknowledgement has been lost, right? And you have to resend the packet 0. Something the receiver may be confused here because the receiver doesn't know if this packet 0 is the retransmitted packet or the next packet, right? So from this slide, you can see that the receiver cannot see sender side. Receiver behave identical in both cases, right? So you don't know if this packet is for the above figure, it's the next packet 0, right? For the lower part 1, this is resented or retransmit packet 0, right? But for the receiver part, they don't know. They just, they just receive a packet 0 again. They don't know if this is a retransmitted or the new one, right? So something, bad happening here, right? There's something not very clear or confused the receiver part happening here. So how should we make sure this will not happen? So we can design scheme that to make sure the relationship between the sequence number size and the window size to avoid the problem in the situation B, okay? But because of time limit, I cannot explain that. But general speaking, so let me try to conclude that the window size should be less than the window size. So what is the window size? Window size is 3 here, right? The window size should be less than or equal to half of the sequence number in the selective repeated protocol. So here sequence number size is 4. The window size is 3, okay? So the window size should be less than or equal to half of the 4. So here window size should be 2 or 1. But think about why. Okay, we can discuss on next class, but think about here. So if the sequence number is 4, window size 3, there is this situation. But if we limit the window size to be 2, there is no such situation. Okay, this is something very interesting. Okay, so think about that and we can talk about next lecture. Okay, so any question before we end today? So next lecture, we will start the TCP and I hope we can finish the TCP next lecture and all the chapter 3 by next Monday. Okay, and we can go to the other chapter and I think we have already passed the half of the semester, finish the first 3 chapter and we have some other 3 chapters and then that's the whole content for this class. Okay, any question for the assignments? Class or anything else? Okay, so if no, thank you everyone. Okay, hope you have a nice day and don't forget the submit the midterm exam answer by next Monday. Okay, this is the firm deadline. Okay, I cannot extend, I cannot accept any delay or late submission. Okay, so thank you everyone. Have a good day.